Listen. Not to the sirens fading in the distance, nor the frantic city pulse 10 stories below. Listen. To the silence inside the Yamazura Heights. It isn't empty. It's full. Full of the ghosts of 7 families, vanished without a sigh. One moment lives intertwined with the city's frantic rhythm. The next, gone, erased, as if the building itself took a breath and swallowed them whole. Kaito Tanaka walks these corridors now, a man adrift in his own life, seeking refuge in the graveyard shift. The recent loss of his wife hangs on him like a sodden coat, heavy and cold. The Yamazura Heights, a gleaming titanium and glass sentinel in Shinjuku, promised order, impenetrable security, a fortress against the chaos outside. For Kaito, it was merely a place to hide from grief's accusing stare. He checks the monitors, grids of monochrome stillness. Apartment 3B. Mrs. Sato, a widow whose laughter once echoed down to the lobby, now just static silence behind her reinforced door. Apartment 7D, the energetic Kawashima family, soccer balls abandoned in their Genkin. Unit 705, that one always felt watchful. Little Emi Hoshino lived there, 6 years old, with eyes too old for her face, eyes that seemed to see the frayed edges of reality Kaito tried so hard to ignore. Kaito rubs his tired eyes. The silence tonight is different, thicker. It presses against the double-paned windows, smothering the usual nocturnal symphony of Tokyo. It's the silence of a held breath, the silence after the scream. He focuses on the feed for Unit 705's hallway. Empty, yet a flicker, a momentary dip in the fluorescent strip light. Then another down the corridor, synchronized, like a wave passing through the building's veins. His skin prickles. Grief has honed his senses to the unnatural. The call comes at 3:17 a.m. Mrs. Sato's emergency pendant, a frantic, wordless pressure, then dead air. Kaito's heart hammers against his ribs, a trapped bird. Protocol dictates waiting for police. Grief dictates otherwise. He knows silence like this. He keys open 3B. The air is frigid, smelling faintly of ozone and wet earth. The apartment is immaculate. Teacups steaming on the kotatsu, knitting needles poised mid-stitch. But Mrs. Sato, gone, vanished mid-motion. No sign of struggle, only an unsettling neatness as if paused by a celestial hand. Panic is a cold serpent coiling in his gut. He checks 7D, the Kawashimas, soccer cleats lined up neatly, dinner dishes half-washed, their teenage son's gaming headset still glowing. Empty. Utterly, terrifyingly empty. 7 families, 7 apartments scattered across the building, from the penthouse down to the 3rd floor. Different lives, different routines, all gone. Simultaneously. The thought is absurd, impossible. Yet the echoing silence screams its confirmation. His fingers tremble as he pulls the security footage for the entire building, time-stamped for the moments before Mrs. Sato's alarm. The footage is a mosaic of ordinary endings. Mr. Ishikawa in 10A locking his door, yawning. Young Emi Hoshino in 705, kneeling by her door, peering through the peephole, not outwards, but inwards, her expression unnervingly focused. Mrs. Sato in 3B placing her teacup down, the Kawashima parents in 7D sharing a tired smile over the sink. Normalcy. Then it begins. A flicker, not a power cut. A dimming. A draining of light, not sudden but insidious, like blood seeping from a wound. In every single hallway feed, simultaneously, the overhead fluorescence gutter. They don't die. They weaken. The light becomes thin, watery, casting long, grasping shadows that seem to writhe on the walls. The air in the security booth feels charged, thick. Kaito leans closer, his breath fogging the screen. The residents react. Mr. Ishikawa pauses, hand on his doorknob, looking up. Mrs. Sato frowns at her teacup. The Kawashimas glance at each other, a flicker of confusion. Little Emmy. Emmy doesn't look up. She remains perfectly still, staring intently through her peephole. Her lips move. Kaito strains, rewinds, amplifies the audio feed for 705. Nothing but the oppressive hum and a faint, rhythmic thump, thump, thump that seems to emanate from the building's structure itself. Emmy's lips form two silent words, repeated. They're here. Darkness, not complete but profound. The emergency lights in the hallways, mandated powerful LEDs, fail to activate. Utter suffocating gloom descends for those 2.7 seconds. It's a darkness that feels alive, hungry. On the grainy, light-starved feeds, figures become indistinct smudges. Kaito's blood turns to ice. What happens in that darkness? His mind conjures horrors, things moving with impossible speed, shapes that defy geometry, silent hands reaching from the walls themselves. The surveillance system, the building's all-seeing eye, is utterly blind. Light returns, harsh, sudden. Kaito flinches. The hallways are empty. Mr. Ishikawa is gone. The Kawashimas have vanished. Mrs. Sato's doorway is vacant, only in Unit 705. Emmy is still there. But she's no longer kneeling. She's standing perfectly upright, facing her apartment door. Her back is to the camera. She is utterly still. Her small hand rests flat against the reinforced wood. He rewinds. He slows it down, frame by agonizing frame through the blackout. Grainy static, digital noise like swirling ash, shapes that might be movement or might be the mind fracturing under terror. Nothing definitive, only the terrifying totality of the absence when the light returns. And Emmy, standing there, a sentinel or a sacrifice. The police are baffled. Forensics find nothing. No forced entry, no signs of violence, no trace evidence. Just 7 homes frozen in time, their occupants ripped away during 2.7 seconds of engineered, unnatural dark. The synchronized power drain, a localized, impossible fluctuation affecting only the hallway lights and emergency systems in those specific areas, becomes the only lead. A technological ghost, an electrical phantom. The media dubs it the Tokyo Silence. Theories erupt like toxic mushrooms, mass hysteria, alien abduction, government black ops. None explain the neatness. None explain Emi Hoshino. Kaito is consumed. He pores over the footage, the building schematics, the power grid logs. He visits the silent apartments, each one a shrine to interrupted lives. He feels the oppressive silence press down, heavier each time. He finds Emmy's favorite toy, a worn rabbit tucked behind her door. It smells faintly of ozone and damp soil. In Unit 705, the silence has a different texture. It thrums faintly beneath the surface, like the building's hidden heartbeat. He remembers Emmy's silent words. They're here. Who and where is here? His investigation leads him down a rabbit hole of urban legends and suppressed reports. Whispers of the listeners, entities not of flesh but of resonance, drawn to places saturated with specific emotional frequencies. Places of profound collective silence born not of peace but of absence, grief, fear, isolation. The Yamazura Heights, a monument to modern solitude, its residents insulated by technology yet profoundly alone, became a beacon, a tuning fork struck by despair. Kaito's own grief, he realizes with dawning horror, might have been the final note. The lure. The synchronized dimming wasn't an outage. It was a resonance. A frequency broadcast through the building's very structure, its steel skeleton, its copper nerves, triggered by what? The collective sigh of loneliness, the silent scream of Emi Hoshino, sensing the gathering presence. The listeners don't take bodies. They consume asterisks. They unravel the thread of being in the space between heartbeats, in the perfect silence of engineered darkness. They leave only the echo, the perfect negative space where life once pulsed. The neatness isn't staging. It's the void where chaos was abruptly cancelled. Kaito stands again in Unit 705's hallway. The police tape is gone. The apartment is sealed, a tomb. The silence is absolute. He stares at Emi's door. The thrumming is stronger here, vibrating in his molars. He looks up at the hallway light. It flickers, just once. Weakly, a cold sweat breaks out on his brow. He remembers the footage, Emi standing there, hand on the door, not trying to escape. Listening. Was she the lure? The conduit? Or the only one who understood the terrible bargain? Did she hold the door shut to keep them in her apartment? Or to keep them from spilling out? He flees. He quits his job. He leaves Tokyo, the gleaming towers now resembling mausoleums. But he carries the silence with him. It's in the quiet hum of his refrigerator, in the gap between traffic noises, in the stillness of his own empty apartment. He sees flickering lights everywhere. He feels the phantom thrum in the floorboards. The listeners didn't just take 7 families. They infected the silence. They proved the terrifying truth lurking beneath our modern fortress of light and steel. True darkness isn't the absence of light. It's the absence of you. They are always listening, drawn to the silent frequencies of human isolation, waiting for the lights to waver. So when you're alone in the quiet hours, in your own secure space, and the lights, hesitate. Don't dismiss it. Don't rationalize the flicker. Listen to the quality of the silence that follows. Is it truly empty? Or is it heavy? Full? Lean close to your door. Do you hear only the quiet hum of your building's hidden life? Or do you hear the faint, rhythmic thump, thump, thump of something pressing against the other side, waiting for the dark to fall just right? Check your peephole, but be very, very quiet. What do you see in the silence before the lights go out? Share your darkness, if you dare. The listeners are always eager for new frequencies.